Hey, you beautiful buccaneers, Falcore here. So a lot of you have been asking for the lore of the game in one video from A to B. And now you're really going to regret it. Roll the credits. Once upon a time, there was an area in the Atlantic Ocean that had lots of water in it, and then one day Mike Chapman appeared and poof, the Sea of Thieves was born. How do I know it's located here? Because this map shows its real-world location. Is it actually real though? Probably. I mean, it's entirely possible with the scope of the planet's surface that it doesn't exist. The Sea of Thieves is surrounded by this thick fog known as the Shroud. Nobody knows what it is or how it got here, but it can really give your ship and your mortality a good butt slap if you don't know the route through. But do you know who does know the route through? The Pirate Lord. Sure, he looks like the poster child for an energy drink commercial right now, but he was once a salty sea dog like the rest of us, known as Ramsay. Himself and a bunch of other pirates got word of a fantastical land full of plunder and made their way here. Long before us pirates came here, there was an indigenous tribe of humans known as the Ancients. They went to all sorts of black magic, necromancy, and getting drunk with crabs, and they're probably responsible for all the curses and the Shroud itself, but nobody really knows. Get out of here, Mike. So Ramsay and a bunch of other crews came to these lands to plunder. Among them were Greymarrow, Briggsy, and the crew of the Morning Star. Except they weren't dead or walking around like loot pinata skeletons. And a mysterious fella known as the Captain. The Captain had a crew member by the name of
Flameheart.
It's not known whether Flameheart mutinied the captain's ship or whether he just threw a temper tantrum and got his own vessel. But the vessel Flameheart eventually sailed was the
Burning Blade.
Flameheart's story is shrouded in mystery, but somewhere along the line, fortifications began to be built where tribute was laid for Mr. Flameheart, either by skeletons or what were formerly people loyal to his cause. Anyway, it's all really confusing and being all held in Mr. Chapman's super secret box of secrets, along with the lies like the shredded goat. Ramsay, aka the Pirate Lord, decided he didn't like the way all these lunatics were running the place, so he hatched a plan to lock all of the cursed treasure in the lands into silly little chests, where he only had the key to open them. The Pirate Lord essentially wanted to turn the Sea of Thieves into a pirate theme park. One of his crew members, Rathbone, thought he was a silly twit and threw a hissy fit, and teamed up with Stitcher Jim and some other silly waffles to steal the keys and form the Gold Hoarder Alliance. Then Rathbone, this silly monkey, got himself cursed by the treasure and ended up sitting on this throne, got all emo and turned into the Gold Hoarder, and now gets spanked by open crews on a daily basis. Meanwhile, the Pirate Lord found a subspecies of human called the Merfolk, and they didn't like him very much, but then he found out one of them got kidnapped by a bunch of double-gunning tryhards, so he saved them, and now the Merfolk repay this deed by taking us back to our ship if we fall overboard. Or not. The stupid Flameheart got his buttocks in a pinch grip about this and was like,
Hey, no! I don't like this.
And pursued the Pirate Lord's ship, the Magpie's Wing, and sunk him on this spit of land, probably because of all the reefs. Then something happened that we don't know. Flameheart did have a dead, and did have a dead in a box. And his dead did not actually have a dead, because his body did dead, but his soul did not dead. And then Pendragon did have him not to be dead. And then all this crap happened, you stupid plank, Pendragon.
Epic tash.
Then the Pirate Lord also did have a dead, but only his body did have a dead. But how? We don't know. Shh. He became Mr. Lying Fanta, then had an everlasting piss-up in a tavern named from his post-fail ship, called the Athena's Fortune, named after his wife. Probably because his wife at this point was a nervous wreck. I hate me. Meanwhile, Flameheart's adopted son, who is nameless as far as we know, probably because he had a really stupid name like Boris or Toby, learnt of his dad's death and decided he wanted to be just like him.
I want to be just like my daddy.
And came to the Sea of Thieves, found a mystical chest, got chased, sank in the Shroud, found a strange island, grabbed a riddle from a skeleton's hands, got lost in some caves, drank some voodoo heebie-jeebie juice from a carved out water source using an old chalice, and the silly spanner turned himself into a skeleton. And then he found this strange guy called the Captain. Remember him? The Captain was all like,
Yo, you smell like your daddy. I like you. Get in the van.
Oh yeah, and then the ferryman happened. Nobody knows why, but About 5 or 10 years passed, and then this sorry-faced sap called Wanda finds a cannon and other debris on the ocean floor. Turns out this wreckage was from the
Burning blade.
This silly bint tried to make cursed cannonballs using the iron from the cannons. It worked, but then she got all manager's haircut, and then her flesh fell off, and she became a skeleton lord known as the
Warsmith.
With her newfound manager's haircut, she summoned skeletal vessels to take all of the outposts in the Sea of Thieves in the name of Flameheart. That's Flameheart Senior, the badass Flameheart, not the silly chalice-sniffing tryhard tied up in the captain's van. There were no puppies, Flameheart Jr. There were no puppies. The Warsmith failed, and we all thought that she had done her dead, but she had not. She came back as the Masked Stranger. Meanwhile, Mr. Jim forged an alliance with Captain Morrow and her crew to discover the Devil's Roar. It worked, but they sank, and then they were stranded, so Captain Morrow thought it would be great to build an outpost on a sodding volcano. Then Stitcher Jim had a look inside a mysterious box, and lost his mind, and was no longer best buddies with the Gold Hoarder, and instead lined his bedroom with Flameheart posters. He was found on an island by the Masked Stranger, and he fell in love with her. The Masked Stranger and Stitcher Jim manipulated the build rats to do their dirty deeds for them. They got us sorry saps to bring them Reaper's chests, gold, and made us do some interior decorating on a fort. And finally got us to pull Mr. Pendragon's soul from a painting and tricked him into releasing the soul of Flameheart. You are a dick, Pendragon.
Epic tash.
Oh, and then she built this place where you can buy some silly pajamas and then sail around running away from everyone because you're a silly wussy goody two-shoes. There you go, you're all caught up. Now, although I've given you all the fun-sized family pack rainbow fart version of the story, there is a lot more detail to its adventure, so if you're interested in the lore, might I suggest purchasing the lore books outside of the game. And then you and your friends can argue for days over passages within the book that can be interpreted in any number of ways, like a lot of people will now do in the comment section below.
Wall of text.
I'm not reading it. I realize I missed out the story behind Grey Marrow and Briggsy, but go play the game if you want those stories, you lazy planks. I'm just gonna slap that butt again. Oh yeah.